Hello there. Thank you so much for staying with us here on the AM show. And I'm sure you got a hint from our earlier speakers that we're about to have a conversation on breast cancer. We're still in the month of October, Pink October we call it, and it's the time we dedicate to creating awareness about breast cancer, hearing from breast cancer survivors, speaking to the doctors, breaking the myths, destroying all the thoughts that you may have that are not scientific and accurate, and also ensuring that we all get screened for breast cancer. This morning I've been joined by Dr. Perfect Koka. She is a medical officer at the Medifem Multi-Specialist Hospital. Hello. Good to see you. You never thought this day would come?
No.
Okay, so Perfect was with me at Infantum and Girls. She's 2 years or a year? Well, I can't remember exactly.
I think a year.
You're a year after me, right? Okay, but it's good to see the work that you're doing at Medifem. Now let's talk about breast cancer. We've heard a lot about it, right? We've heard from survivors. We've heard from people who unfortunately didn't have the right information, so they didn't make the right decisions, and they ended up dealing with a more complicated form of breast cancer. Let's start off this way. What is breast cancer and why does it happen?
Okay, so as has been mentioned, we are in the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That's a Pink October, and we are creating awareness so that we can identify breast cancer early and then manage it early and to prevent complications and death. It's not a death sentence. Yes, so what is breast cancer? Breast cancer is it's a disease that comes from your cells growing abnormally and then having the ability to spread to other parts of your body. Yes. So it's a tumor that forms that can be invasive, so
right,
can
so
move
spread to other organs of the body.
Yes, other organs of your
beyond
body.
Beyond the breast, the cancerous cells can spread to, say, the lungs or
yes, your
other
lungs.
parts,
It
right?
can go to your liver. It can go to other parts of your body.
All right, and that
yes.
will be what you doctors may call what, stage 4, like
yes,
when
an
it's gone.
advanced breast cancer disease. Yeah.
Okay, but one of the major questions we have people asking us whenever we talk about breast cancer is: are there people who are more prone to having the disease, and are there things that we do that make us, give us a higher risk or puts us at a higher risk of getting breast cancer?
Yes, so there are some risk factors associated with breast cancer. Yes, and for every risk factor, we have the ones that we can modify, the ones we can do something about, and there are ones that you can't do anything about. Yes. So risk factors being there doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the disease. It just gives us a fair idea who has maybe a higher chance of getting breast cancer than others. So, for example, breast cancer is common in females. 99% of breast cancers are in females. So being a female, it puts you at risk for breast cancer. That being said, males can also get breast cancer, but it's way less common. About 1%, 0.5 to 1% of breast cancer is in males. Yes, and then age. So we think that breast cancer is more common as you age, but now we are having a lot of young people also developing breast cancer, 30s, 20s, also developing breast cancer. And hence the need to intensify education on breast cancer.
Right.
Yes, and other factors also include a family history. So if you've had a relative, your mother has had breast cancer, your grandmother, your auntie, it puts you at a higher risk. So there could be a genetic component. Even though a lot of the cases too, people don't have any of these. Yes, and then they just develop it. Yeah, but these are factors that you can't do anything about. Yeah, so some of the factors that are associated with breast cancer that are modifiable, that's more associated with lifestyle choices. For example, smoking, cigarettes, tobacco, alcohol intake, obesity, hormone use, hormone therapy, especially postmenopausal. So these are some of the risk factors associated with breast cancer.
It's interesting you bring the issue of hormone use because there have been concerns about the abuse of some of these emergency pills. You know, people just pop things because they want to avoid a pregnancy. So I just think that if you're somebody who likes to do that, just speak to your healthcare provider about the right way to, you know, do all these things so that you don't put yourself at risk of getting breast cancer. Now let's talk about those who have identified that they have the disease already. We live in a very religious society. It's something we can't run away from. And there are many people who like to associate not only breast cancer, but many diseases with religious causes rather. And they say that, oh, probably somebody has bewitched me or whatever the case is. If somebody came to you as a doctor and you had to treat them for breast cancer or manage them for breast cancer, what do you usually tell them to get them to understand that science can actually help them to manage or even in some cases get rid of the cancer?
Okay, so I think the religious bit has been a challenge with regards to health seeking with breast cancer and many other diseases, because we are in a highly religious environment, and superstition also, myths, misinformation. So it's easy for us to associate this with that, and then actually think that even coming to the hospital is what is going to make your condition worse. Yes. Health does not is not limited to medicine only or your physical condition. Your spiritual, there's a spiritual aspect to health too. So both can coexist. Yes,
right. I like
one
that.
is not exclusive of the other. Both can coexist.
So you can do the two together.
Yes,
right.
you can follow your religious beliefs. You can do your prayers and all the things that help, which also helps us be balanced. But at the same time, people need to understand that diseases are being researched, and yes, and there's a lot of advancements in health, and they can seek health care and get managed whilst also going about their religious activities. The problem is when we associate diseases to entirely spiritual events. Yes, and then sometimes by the time people would see that maybe their breast is a sore, it's not healing, and then they think someone has bewitched them, they go to a prayer camp, which their choice, and it's good to pray. But by the time they come to the hospital, it has already spread to other parts of the body. There's little that can be done. Yes, so I think we need to understand that all of this going on is for our own good. It's for us to take charge of our health and then also get better whilst going about our religious activities.
All right,
yes.
so what Dr. Perfect I get from what she's saying to you today is that you can do these concurrently, right?
Yes.
What doctors don't want is where you neglect medical care and totally seek spiritual help. While you seek spiritual help, visit the clinic as well. Who knows? It may not be actually what you think it is, or it could just be something that could be remedied with a simple surgery. How do you treat breast cancer? Is it always that people will have their breast cuts? Because I get that some people fear that when they hear about a mastectomy, they're like, hey, I'm going to look at my breast, you know, it's what makes me a woman. And people are usually, and I know even in some cases where people have been told that they have breast cancer, and the best way to avoid it spreading is to have the breast cut, and it's such a fight.
Yes.
What are the ways you treat breast cancer?
Okay, so with regards to breast cancer management, I would say management because it depends on when you are coming, how early it's found, and then the type of breast cancer. There are different types. Those are very technical, so I wouldn't go into details, but there are different kinds of the cancer. There are some that respond to hormones, there are some that don't respond to hormones. There are different subtypes. So all of that will inform the management. Contrary to what we think, that once you have breast cancer, your breast will be cut. It's not. It's just one of many management forms, and that also depends on the stage of the cancer at the time of management. If it's detected very early, a breast conserving surgery can be done, so that the tumor can be taken out, and then coupled with other treatments like chemotherapy and then radiotherapy, you can be managed appropriately. Yes, so it's not cut in stone that once you have breast cancer, we have to cut off your breast. No.
Right. Thank you for that clarification. Now, we're still in the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Dr. Koka and some of her colleagues have been, doing so well, creating awareness, talking to us as women about getting a breast screened. I just want to find out from you how successful that has been. Do you have people coming into the hospital to get screened in this month?
Yes, so we've had quite a number of people coming into where I work, Medifem. We've had a number of people coming in for screening. We were doing our screenings in the hospital on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we picked a few people who had lumps. For me, luckily, the ones we picked and investigated, it was not breast cancer. There were other benign breast lumps. We've also had screenings outside the hospital, so in the marketplace, at corporate areas. We've tried to do as much screening as possible. Then we've done some education. I've been to one radio station, I've been to TV station, I've had presentation with groups, yes, and then as with my other colleagues at work too. So and this is the goal of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so that as much as possible we create the opportunity for people to get screened, and then as part of our screening we educate you on self-breast examination.
Right.
Yes, so that we don't delegate screening our breast to once a year. Yes,
October,
only to October. Yes, so that you do that whilst you're at home, at least once a month. Yeah.
Right. So we'll be coming to that, the self-breast examination and the other things we can do, not necessarily only in the month of October. But you spoke about some of the lumps being benign, right? So it means that not every lump that you identify in your breast is cancerous. So if you do your self-examination, please don't shy away from going to the hospital because you identified a lump. Just break it down simply for us. What does a benign lump mean?
So a benign lump means that it's a lump that is not cancerous.
Okay.
So it wouldn't spread to other parts of your body like the way the cancerous lumps would do. Yes, and actually, a lot more lumps you find in your breast maybe you have more benign lumps in your breast than you find malignant ones. But you may not know just by identifying the lump that this one I can sit at home and wait and go to the hospital later. And that is why once you identify something like that, you come to the hospital. And just to add that a lump in your breast is not the only sign or symptom that you have breast cancer or you have something going on. Yes, so if you notice any unusual thing with your breast at all, so it may be skin changes, you may see the color of your breast has changed or the color of your nipple has changed. You may see that a part of your breast looks like it's sinking in, like a dimple, the way you have a dimple on your cheek. So you see dimpling. If you see your nipple retracting, so your nipple is supposed to stand out, and then you see that it's like something's pulling it inside.
Right.
Yes. Or you have a sore or like an ulcer on your breast that it just doesn't go. It's not healing. And these are some signs. Or you have a discharge from your nipple, a bloody discharge, an unusual discharge at all. These are signs that you need to seek immediate medical attention.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do we do the self-examination?
Okay, so the self-examination, first of all, the goal of the self-examination is that you get to know your breast, you know how it is, how it feels, so that should you feel something unusual, should you see something unusual, you'd be familiar with that change, and then you report or you seek treatment immediately. Yes. So with the self-breast examination, we recommend that we do it at least once a month. Yes. So you stand in front of the mirror and then have a look at your breast. You look around for the things I've mentioned. Mm-hmm. Is there any skin change? Is there any swelling? Is there any is there any discoloration? Any dimpling? Anything at all? You lean forward a bit. You'd also have a look at your breast. Sometimes you can have some lumps that when you lean forward and the breast hangs out, it becomes a bit more obvious. Yes, you do that too, and then you can put your hand on your waist and it tenses your muscles okay. Up here. Yes, and then also examine your breast, and then you palpate your breast with the palm of your hand. Yes. So you are not poking, you are actually pressing. Yes. Okay. Yes. So you can raise one hand and then you use the opposite hand to palpate in circles so that you cover all the areas of your breast. You go in circles and then also palpate the center, also towards your armpit, because all of these parts are, your breast goes all the way up towards your armpits.
Okay,
yes.
That's an important point. So when we're doing the examination, you're not just looking at the breast, yes. as in the formed breast here, but you're also going as far as your armpit, yes. and every area here,
yes.
right? Because that's an important point we need to make.
Yeah. Yes, so you do that for both, and then you'd also squeeze your nipple a bit to see if there's any discharge. Then you can do that whilst lying down too. You lie down and then you press the breast, like you palpate the breast against the breast wall for both, and then just to identify any lumps, anything unusual. Yes, so as simple as that.
Every woman has a lump in the breast.
Yes, a normal breast tissue.
Yes, because sometimes people get confused, especially the young girls. When you ask them to examine and you talk about a lump, they get frightened. Yeah. They feel a lump. So what is the difference we're looking at here? In saying that, oh, this is a lump, I should get a doctor to see. Okay. What is the characteristic between the normal lump we have and the ones that could either be malignant or benign? Okay,
so for your normal breast tissue, I don't know how to describe it, but you feel it's like at the base of your breast, like that, you feel that. So anything outside of that, when you do self-breast examinations, you get very familiar with how that is. Yes, so you may sometimes feel a mass, like a lump on top of that.
Okay.
Yes, sometimes you feel on top of that, or sometimes it's like there's a lump at the side, like this one is there, then there's an extra lump. You feel something extra somewhere.
Do the extra lumps move around?
Some move.
Okay.
The benign ones especially, there are some that move. But I'm careful with saying that this one is characteristics of benign, this one is characteristics of malignant, because I'd limit that to like the aspects.
Right.
Yes. For us, what is important that we know, like as general people in the public,
right,
is that there shouldn't be an extra lump aside your normal breast tissue. So if you feel anything like that, usually those for the breast cancer are hard and sometimes could be attached to the skin or attached to like the muscle or other tissues and may not move. But whether it moves or not, whether it's hard or is soft, once you find something unusual, just to have a clarity and for us to identify early if it's breast cancer, just see your medical practitioner.
Thank you so much. That's Dr. Perfect Koka. She is a medical officer at the Medifem Multi-Specialist Hospital. And we've been talking about breast cancer awareness. I hope you've learned something. For those of you who have young daughters who are coming up, these are conversations you should have with them. And we must normalize conversations around breast cancer. It doesn't just have to be limited to the month of October. So if there's anything you learned today, I hope you remember that you need to do a self-breast examination at least once a month. If you spot anything unusual, please do not hesitate. Rush to your specialist or your caregiver. Also, it's not a crime to pray, but as we've heard from Doc, you can pray while seeking medical help. There's nothing wrong in doing that. So this has been our way of helping you this morning. And I know that, majority of breast cancer cases are found in women, but I have an uncle who was diagnosed with breast cancer. Thankfully, he survived. So for the men, you should also be concerned, at least learn how to do a self-breast examination. If you find something unusual, go visit a doctor. Thank you for staying on the AM show. When I come back, I'll be speaking to sponsors of our NSNQ and giving you some vital information on changes made to the finale. Do stay. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.